growing up in a culture with 110 million population of survival, what I've learned most is like I was trained from young age to survive anywhere because I'm Filipino. You know, and like even though the Western countries they have the advantage of their passport, but kapag ka iba iba yung way of thinking natin, and can you believe, like, I think I will not be surprised. There's really growing number of Filipino travelers. Maybe ngayon sa mundo, there's only 500 people who have traveled to every countries in the world. And tatlo na kaming Filipino. The first two are like Tita Odette Ricasa. She finished it at 77 years old, but she's Filipino-American. And next is Tita Luisa Yu. She finished it at 79 years old. She's 80 now. And she's also Filipino-American. And then me next, and I'm Filipino, but like I'm 36. But I really believe, like, if Filipinos would understand the skills that we have and the reputation that we have, that we are the hardest worker and like we are the best remote workers, I think may siguro baka kung ako ang youngest, baka susunod mga 25, 26 na yung nakaipot sa mundo. But they just need to be aware, like, what we have and not what we lack, what mahirap.
Sa yung time to para sa show natin Positive Filipino.
Of course.
Yes. Let's go back. So paano nangyari itong 195? So paano nagsimula yung pagiging, kasi sinasabi sa ibang mga is you become a digital nomad. Paano nangyari yun? Paano nagsimula yung digital nomad journey mo?
Okay, nag-start muna, like, can you believe, ang kauna-unahang sakay ko ng eroplano na international flight na lumampas ng immigration was I was 20 years old. Nag-travel ako nung bata ako nung college before. Travel ko muna yung Pilipinas, like North, South, pero hindi yung mga field trip, like active talaga. Gusto talaga may ikot. And then 20 was the first time I left the country na may stamp. And then 24 was when I quit my job after 4 years sa Middle East. Nag-work ako sa Kuwait. Tapos ang last na work ko, I work for an oil company sa Kurdistan, Iraq. And 24 ako. Sabi ko, nakuha ko na yung position. Gusto ko, I have enough savings. Sabi ko, magsasabbatical muna. Kunwari soul searching, di ba? Mga tao ngayon, di ba? Mga tao nung panahon na yun, nakala mo, I didn't know. Sige, sabi ko, I have a career naman. Pero magte-take ako ng break. But it's good because I have the experience. I can go back to that job. And then sabi ko, backpacking. Like, okay, uwi muna akong Philippines. And I went backpacking in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and yung Pancake Trail, yung simula. And then eventually, you'll meet people along your traveling, like along the travels. Yung iba, they sustain. You ask them, how can you afford this, diba? Like, how can you afford this? I have savings, but it will not last longer. And then may mga na-meet ako na they were making jewelry, yung mga South American na nagba-backpacker, nag-make jewelry, tapos yung iba nagre-reception sa mga hostel, pero mga exchange deal, volunteering. Until I started to meet people that they were working online, like na nagsusulat na yung mga nagagawa ng mga libro, tapos kaka-start lang may mga bloggers na noon, pero walang Filipinos. And then yung mga travel bloggers na na Americans at that time, sinusulat nila na this is the lifestyle. Sabi ko, wow, walang gumagawa sa Philippines. So sinecheck ko paano sila kumikita ng pera. Like my intention was like, how can I just travel ng mas matagalan? And then I started my travel blog, Two Monkeys Travel, with my ex-partner. Like I was traveling with the guy that I've met while backpacking, who eventually became my husband. But then after 80 countries together, we got divorced in 2021. So the blog really highlighted yung journey namin. And then after that, I was like, okay, the blog is making money, but not enough money that I can afford to fly and pay like $2,000 to go to this extreme destination. The blog helped me to get like exchange deals, get free hotels, like get like ads. Like mga YouTuber, you have ads. Since I don't have YouTube, I had before para lang sa show ko to promote, pero wala akong, like, I'm not a travel vlogger, I'm a blogger. So I was like, okay, ito lang yung makita. And then that's when I started to think, what's next? I have bigger goal na, like natapos ko na yung mga visa-free countries, at saka now yung mga visa na countries na requiring na for me to have show money. Mga show money yung mahal, di ba? So I was like, oh my God, and then I have to start saving. So I started my services. Like I started, I had another website called Mr. and Mrs. How, and then I started like a rent a flight business. Alam ko na yung mga tao nag-a-apply ng mga visa, they need to have flight reservation. So I partnered with a travel agency who could do that. And that thing started. So I help people to get their visa and then also earn money. And then eventually, which is my recent ventures, like that's why I moved back to Dubai. Kung dati, nagtatrabaho ako sa Middle East. Ngayon, may sarili na akong company sa Free Zone sa Middle East. I have may travel tech startup, parang startup ba, na tawag ay filipinopassport.com, at saka yung travel agency ko na Travel with Catch. So these two businesses that I started, ito na yung nagpopondo sa akin. Kung ang tanong ng mga tao, how can they get a visa? Of course, I have free guide sa blog ko. If you follow me before, you ask visa, I have free articles all the time. Paano kung hindi mo kaya gawin, or you cannot find you couldn't find other stuff? So I started that business, and then of course people started to pay, and ayun na how I've been paying. So if I was a digital nomad, nag-start as a content creator, I become a digital nomad entrepreneur. And yeah. So, yung digital nomad naman, di ba, iba-iba. Yung iba, ang ginagawa nila, like programming, yung iba, YouTuber, yung iba, consultant, or what. Sa akin naman, like content creation, and then eventually, ito ngang company ko where I offer e-commerce services.
Wow.
Haba.
That's
Haba yung journey.
that's a long journey, ha?
12 years.
Kasi 195 country, mahirap siguro maglakbay sa bawat bansa. Ano-ano yung mga, say, challenges or pinakamalaking hamon na iyong hinarap sa paglalakbay? So, what made it so challenging sa'yo?
So many. Like, these are my passports. So, like, sa Philippines, di ba kapag ka na puno na or na-expire or yung they cancel, pero you keep the passports, or di ba? Like, ito yung 5 passport na nagamit ko sa lahat ng biyahe ko. And ito lahat. Challenges, ang dami, marami talaga. I had a car accident in Pakistan. Like I was not able to walk properly for like 3 months. I had surgery in my leg, and then until now, I'm still experiencing pain in my back. Pero yung mga ganung situation, it could also happen to me even kung saang lugar ako. But maraming challenges kasi kailangan mong pera, di ba? Like, so after I of course, halimbawa, I became more strategic with my travel. So for example, 2017, ang goal ko maipot ko lahat ng East Africa. So I computed dun, like ko, okay, $100 per day para magawa ko ang East African countries for like 120 days or like 90 days, yung mga ganon. So I have to compute. And then ang challenge nun, how can I make, let's say, how can I make $12,000 so I can travel for the next 3 months? Ayun yung challenge. And I'm a public personality, di ba? Like, so kailangan you keep thinking, and then I had a team. So marami. And ang challenge pa is like when you apply for a visa as a Filipino, alam ng Pilipino lahat to. You need to show money, 'di ba? Like kailangan ko may show money, papakita mo yung bank statement mo. Sa loob-loob ko lang lagi, all throughout the years, paano ko mag-show money? Kailangan ko rin gamitin yung money. So I have to do show money. Kaya kailangan parang 2 months mag-a-apply lang ako ng visa. Tapos ang challenge doon, may mga company, may embassy na magbibigay sa akin ng 30 days visa, tas valid na kagad bukas. Di ba, valid na bukas. Kaso kailangan ko pong magkaroon ng visa for the ibang lugar. So by that time na mag-expire na tong visa, and I cannot go kasi like ang ticket sa isang lugar, gusto nga tapusin isang region, di ba? So talagang I thank God I have amazing people who really help me sa team ko. Like I have people who I discovered a lot of things with the market gap ng applying ng mga visa that I don't even need to go to embassies. I could work I could get the visa directly from the immigration by working, by applying at the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs of each country or sa agency na I don't need to get to the embassy. I can get the visa on arrival na stamp nila. Pero I need to get clearance mismo from the head office. So parang, imbis na dumaan sa embassy, I could do that. And then later on, I only find it out like maybe 3-4 years ago. I was like, ba't ako mahirap sa buhay? I just learned it like 8 years of my life, I was doing it the hard way. Well, and now that, and ang hirap talaga, like logistics, of course, hindi lang naman kasi iisipin mo, ganito. Pero you know what shifted me, Kuya Miko? Really shifted my mindset when I realized that I have the power of all of my decisions, that I take control of like how I'm gonna do it. It changed all the dynamics. Like before, parang, ano ba yun? Ang hirap-hirap maging Pilipino, ayoko ng ganito, hirap. Pero no, may point ako, kailangan ko i-prove, like ganyan. Like when the thing was, the before was like, I just want to prove, to later on, realizing that, how can I make it easier for me and make it easier for the next people who's gonna get this visa? How can I do that? So when I changed it, which is like only happened 4 years ago, when I started to become matured and grown up, then everything changed like for the better when it comes to application. But ang mahirap talaga, if you wanna do this, you really need to have 3 things. Good health, good resources of money, and good timing. And how can you do that? Become a digital nomad kasi you can work anywhere. You can work out anytime, you control your time. But you don't need to be an entrepreneur kagad. You can work for people who are working, like full-time, virtual assistant or like a podcast editor, video editor, assist mo na until you figure out what can you do as a business.
Yeah, very well said. So, kasi marami ka na napunta ng mga bansa. So, out of all these amazing places
Mhm.
that you've been, which one hold like a special place sa puso mo at bakit?
Montenegro, like that was my second home. Like my brother, during COVID, after COVID, I brought my brother and his family. They moved there. They are there now. Of all the places, I don't know, kasi ito yung bansa na nung na-aksidente kasi ako sa Pakistan noong 2019. Hindi ko alam paano ako makakalakad. Kailangan ko ng bansa na matutulungan ako ng ng therapist. Tapos, during the time, I work with the Ministry of Tourism ng Montenegro at saka yung mayor doon ng Herceg-Novi. You know what? They gave me residency so I could stay and heal. And then, they have the best institute for physical therapy. It's called Igalo Institute. And that country helped me to walk again. And I have a house there. Like, my brother is there. But yeah, I still consider it my home. So now that I'm done traveling, kasi before I cannot really have a fixed base kasi talagang ang focus ko lang, how can I get to the next country? How can I get to the next country? But my mission now is Philippines is where I'm gonna, this is me. This is my root. And this is where I'm gonna educate the next generation. Dubai is where I'm gonna, maybe Philippines is where I'm gonna spend my money, But Dubai is where I make money. This is my business home. And Montenegro is my vacation home. This is where I live for vacation. I don't do anything. This is my healing, And yeah, so I want to have 3 bases and then at the same, following the season, diba? Why choose one? Pwede naman, di naman being greedy, but I divide the year saan ako pwedeng tumira. So now, I just have to work so I can afford to have this lifestyle. But then, I created a lifestyle that is so minimalist. If you know me, you know that I wear the same watch. I have the same phone, but I have things that lasted me years. I have the same bag that I carried to 50 countries. I have the same wallet. I only have one thing that I can survive going anywhere. But I think ngayon na wala na akong gagastos ang bansa, maybe I deserve one nice bag. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Malay mo makita kita sa isa ka sa mga guests ng what is that one? Because my friend is watching that in Dubai. I think it's Dubai Bling from Netflix.
Yes.
Who knows?
Di lang anghel ka sana, pero gusto ko ba ng ganung kwentuhan? Pero pwede naman, di ba? Ako yung nagtutour sa mga Dubai Bling Stars, di ba? Halika, dali natin to mga social na to sa Afghanistan. Tignan natin ang reaction ng mga taong to, di ba? I could do that. But yeah, I could do that. Sana di lang anghel ka. Good idea. I was just watching that.
Yeah, I think they have a new season. So sa particular na mga bansa na napuntahan mo, or what particular country that yung nahirap ka talagang puntahan? Yung nagpahirap sa'yo dito?
Talagang iyak na ako. Syria at Sudan. Kasi yung Syria, tagal ko talaga. Hindi ko lang ba't ako ma-reject. Like, I tried. Pero kasi yung mga, talagang close naman talaga yung Syria before, then they opened up, di ba? Yung mga Americans, they can enter. Sabi ko, okay, pwede na. Sabi, ba't kaya, eto lang yung bansa na reject ako. Yung iba, hindi lang tinatanggap yung application ko. Hindi ka pwede mag-apply dito. Yung ganun. Eto talaga, in-apply. Ang tagal ko nag-antay, 1 month. Tapos sabi nila, sorry, hindi talaga pwede. Until I found out, I started like, ano kaya? Anong problema? Ako ba may problema? O sinong may problema? Until I found out na may batas pala yung Syria at saka Philippines agreement na a single Filipino woman is not allowed to enter the country. Sabi ko, pero pwede ang Filipino na may asawa, na kasama yung asawa, na aalis. Kasi pala, nagkaroon pala ng maraming kaso yung mga domestic helpers na inabuso, na tinaka sila from Lebanon, Jordan, travel sila by land, tapos napunta sila sa Syria, you know what I mean? Tapos kinonvert na lang yung papel. And yun lang, last year, I went to Syrian Embassy in Abu Dhabi. Nagpa-interview talaga ako na, ito po ako. So like, please po. And it still took them 1 month to get in. Naggulat na lang din ng Philippine Embassy that time. I was like, wow, you got in. So talagang daming pinagdaanan doon. And then Sudan, my last country, the reason why it was last, not because I want to be fashionable or like relevant or anything, but maybe God has a plan for me to, like, bakit ayan? But to be honest, ang reason was, naabutan ako ng civil war, April 2023, nagka-civil war sa Sudan. Lahat ng mga Filipino natin na nag-work doon, pinabalik sila sa Philippines, pinaalis sila, pinapunta sila ng ibang bansa, in-evacuate lahat. Kasi nga, like yung ongoing ng war. And then, of course, syempre naman, pagpilitan ko, bigyan mo na ako ng visa, tourist ako, di ba? Hindi naman, di ba? It's insensitive. But then when I've realized na may mga safe zone na, kung dati, Khartoum yung capital, which is technically yun pa rin, nilipat lahat yung operations sa Port Sudan. Talaga, the last 7 months, talagang kung sino na ang pwedeng matawagan, maanuhan, na makakuha lang ako ng visa. At the beginning, kala ko nga mag-humanitarian visa ako. Pero ano ba naman yun? Matatapos ko ba yung goal ko na dahil sa isang ganito? Sabi ko, tatapusin ko yung goal ko na talagang visit visa hanggang huli. And you know what? Unexpectedly, I was traveling in Sri Lanka. Yung contacts ko sa Sudan, nag-message sa akin, they gave you the visa. And I was like, nasa Sri Lanka ako, I have this trip, tatapusin yung taon. Sabi nila, they approve your visa. And I was like one of the first 10 people that the government approved, like, ng visa. So yun, last week, I was able to get there. And a lot of people, like, who are like travelers like me, trying to visit every country, they're all surprised, like, that you can enter. And I think this is like the first step of the country to recover tourism. Like, it has to move on. And I think, what helped me naman this time? It's because there were like 400 OFWs who used to work in Sudan. And I thank them. And I think because of their good reputation, when they saw my passport sa visa application, na siguro 150 na tao na nag-a-apply, they decided to approve me. Like, and sabi nga nila parang, maybe because of me being Filipino was my advantage to be the first one to get approved. And yun nga, pagdating ko sa Sudan last week, sabi ng immigration, you're the 3rd tourist, welcome.
Wow, that's nice.
I was like, thank you.
That's so nice. So, alam naman natin sa mga nanonood ngayon at nakikinig din through all the podcast platform, ay syempre magtatanong yan. Kung ano yung payo mo na maibibigay sa kanila sa isang nangangarap din na matupad yung kanilang pangarap, like yung paglalakbay mo na ginawa na napakaraming bansa. Ano yun?
I suggest, okay, kasi sa atin Filipino, there are like ads is talagang not against us, like, but you need to be strategic. Okay? So, kung like may full-time job ka or anything, maybe start talking to your boss na baka pwede maging flexible yung work mo. Kasi hindi ka pwede mag-travel lang ng 1 week tapos babalik ka, lugi ka sa ticket lugi ka sa ticket, pero hindi naman pwedeng lalabas ka ng bansa, isang bansa lang. Like, you need to be strategic. So, like, if you want to do what I did, you do it per region. Like, okay, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Central Asia, you do it per region. And then, you make a plan. Magkano ba ang kailangan natin na kailangan budget mo? For me, when I was at the beginning, ang budget ko lang $10. Ako, matatawa ka sa kapatid ko. $1 food, ganyan. Talagang jetta, di ba? Tapos, nung medyo tumanda-tanda na ako, nagkaroon ako ng pera. Kung the same budget, di ba, nakakaya naman. Tapos hanggang lately, ang budget ko na is like $150 a day. So, kung yung halimbawa, ang hotel ko ay $50, edi kakain na lang ako ng $20-30 kasi gusto ko pa mag-tour, kailangan ko pa ng sasakyan or what, di ba? And then I realized na mahal pala na per day. So parang nung nag-change na yung travel style ko, naging per week. So halimbawa, budget ko na per week ay $500. So yung $500 na yun, anywhere I went, like even like work or what, basta may $500 a week ako na budget na kailangan i-adapt ko sa lahat ng bansang pupuntahan ko, if you know what I mean. And what I really suggest and teach, really tell people, we have to think outside of our comfort zone or what's typical. And there's a new growing, kung may OFW, maybe it's time that we have our own growing movement of remote Filipino workers. Because like, you can work and travel anywhere you want, earn dollars, and you can earn dollars like while living in Manila or while you are in you are in Kenya or anything. Learn digital skills. Learn paano ka pwedeng magkaroon ng side income muna. Kung may full-time job ka, check how can you have side income online na you are enhancing your skills. Get more familiarized with technology. Learn more about AI or anything. And then next, kung wala ka pang experience to travel outside, travel Philippines muna na para mabusla yung confidence mo. Ano ba ang feeling na sumakay ng eroplano papunta sa kabilang island? Ano ba ang feeling na sumakay ng bus? Pero I don't know, kung malakas na yung loob nila, mag-hitchhiking ka ba? Tapos ang daming hostels na sa Philippines, may mga chain. O stay ka muna sa hostel, sa dorm. Kaya mo ba na makitulog? Para kang college days, o di ba? Tapos sanay ka na ba? Like try to figure out what's your style of traveling para you can know what's budget. So kung ano yung budget, kung kaya, magkano pera ang kailangan mo para mabuhay sa isang araw kahit nasaan ka man sa ibang lugar. Kasi ang pinagkaiba lang naman na nasa Pilipinas ka or sa ibang bansa ay yung gastos mo for the flight ticket. Ayan, pag-ipunan mo na yan later on. Pero what I suggest is like figure out how much can you live in a day with what amount of money. And then, doon mo na puntahan yung iba't ibang bansa. Pag na-perfect mo na sa isang lugar, you could do it in other places. But being outside of your comfort zone, medyo nakakatakot. Kaya kailangan talaga, you need to be confident first within your skills. Like, kasi kapag kaya, may believe ka talaga sa sarili mo na kaya mo and you pray to God, like you'll be protected, diba? So, ayun, learn digital skills and read more about the digital nomad lifestyle. And you know what? Kaya ako pinupush na magkaroon mas marami pang remote Filipino workers. Kasi dati, lagi kapag napapatigil ako sa mga immigration or what, kala nila either two things. Pumunta ako doon na naka-tourist visa, maybe I will work, or next, naghahanap ako ng local na lalaki na pwedeng asawain. Like to that. Ayun, typical na thinking eh. And you know what? If they learn that there are a lot of remote Filipino workers, we work online, we earn dollars, we're not here to get your job, but maybe I could stay in your country for 3 months, explore, spend money here, and it's gonna be easier for us with immigration, getting visa, kasi they know that we are remote, we are the Filipinos who are working remotely. Like we are an advantage in their country kasi we're gonna be spending. Pero kung mahirap pa ang visa sa atin, hindi sa Pilipinas na lang natin gastusin muna hanggang confident ka na.
Tama yun. What are the most, say, important things you learn from your journey?
That you need to really be adaptable, flexibility. Like pero talagang alam mo, what really helped me is just being a Filipino. Like sa dami nating sakuna, like the grit, like okay, At saka yung ano, halimbawa kahit patulugin nila ako kahit sang seeg, pero gusto ko sosyal, di ba? So stay ako sa sosyal. Ngayon, di ba? Pero kung kailangan nila ako patulugin sa seeg, tutulog ako sa seeg. Like, kung kapag nagka-problema ako sa immigration, maybe konting panic attack, pero dahil madiskarte tayo eh, like, like, growing up in a culture with 110 million population of survival, what I've learned most is like I was trained from young age to survive anywhere because I'm Filipino. Like and like even though the Western countries they have the advantage of their passport, but kapag ka iba like iba yung way of thinking natin, and can you believe, like, I think I will not be surprised. There's really growing number of Filipino like travelers. Maybe ngayon sa mundo, there's only 500 people who have traveled to every countries in the world. And tatlo na kaming Pilipino. The first two are like Tita Odette Ricasa. She finished it at 77 years old, but she's Filipino-American. And next is Tita Luisa Yu. She finished it at 79 years old. She's 80 now. And she's also Filipino-American. And then me next, and I'm Filipino, but like I'm 36. But I really believe, like, if Filipinos would understand the skills that we have and the reputation that we have, that we are the hardest worker, and like we are the best remote workers. I think may siguro mga baka kung ako ang youngest baka susunod ano na mga 25, 26 na yung nakaipot sa mundo. But they just need to be aware, like, what we have and not what we lack, what mahirap. And kasi yung mga visa, kaya naman tayo low passport index is because of the bilateral ties in each country. But since our country, we don't have enough resources to have like an embassy sa ganito, kaya wala tayong ties. So, but what if the remote Filipino workers, they started to travel and think of new countries? Of course, they will hear about us. And maybe it's gonna change. So, kung hindi kayang gawin ng gobyerno sa isa, maybe, mga travelers na gustong gawin yung mission, we could change something for our country.
Thank you for that. Isang malaking tagumpay, accomplishment yung to be, sinabi mo nga, you're the first youngest Filipino to visit every country. How does that feel?
You know what? No, bagin ko lang, I'll give you one word. I feel satisfied. Satisfied. Because when I told my friends and family before that I wanna do this, no one doubts because they know me. But I have bigger things that I wanna accomplish in my life. Yung mga talagang parang sinabi sa akin sa panaginip ko. You know what I mean? Like, pero pag sinabi ko yan, baka people will think, oh, lunatic. Baliw na to. But like this one of me, like achieving this goal, I can be like point of past, like it is like like a proof that it is possible, like that really dreams do come true, and the feeling that I have like satisfied because I said it before I would do it and I did, and now I feel like not validated pero like yung satisfied ka na the next thing that I'm gonna say I know I'm gonna do it, so now kaya yeah, satisfied like that, like I was given the right people, I was in the right timing, I was given like the right wisdom and like the grit to do it. So just like really satisfied. Maraming venture. So like if you just want to talk to me, like chit chat lang, you can follow my personal Instagram account, which is catch.umandap. But if you need help sa mga visa, like especially for like embassies or like consulate na walang available sa Philippines, and or like halimbawa your situation is so complicated, like hindi mo alam kung paano gagawin, basta tourism lang, tourism and business, we can help you. Pag work, I don't deal with that because we have different protocols. Okay, you contact me through filipinopassport.com, FILIPINO passport.com. You find me there. Like, we'll help you. If not me, one of my team members, okay? But if you want a travel buddy, you want to travel to off the beaten countries, Mongolia, Morocco, Antarctica, North Korea, maybe next year more, you can join my group tours, travelwithcatch.com. And yung mga yung mga group tours ko, hindi yung mga typical na pupuntahan. Kasi bakit ako magnenegosyo sa mga lugar na kaya mo namang i-DIY? Kasi ako yung I am Miss DIY, like kung as much as possible makakatipid, di ba? But I created this travel company, travelwithcatch.com, yung mga lugar na mas mahal kapag nag-solo ka, mas komplikado pag nag-solo ka. Like, pero gusto mo ng panibagong mga kaibigan, gusto mo ng mga bagong travel buddies, then you find me at travelwithcatch.com. And then, kapag naman gusto mong matutunan about digital nomad lifestyle, ano ba digital nomad? I have ebook, and then hopefully soon mapublish na yung book ko, like on how you can become digital nomad, specially designed for Filipinos like us na saan ba tayo? Kasi kailangan natin ng visa, like kailangan natin ng freedom of movement. Then you can find me on twomonkeystravelgroup.com. Like, pero sa Facebook, Two Monkeys Travel, madali na siyang mahanap.